Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and some of you me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency, Wes's Path. So y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that we have a Patreon up now, and you can support the channel for as little as $5 to get exclusive access to our community Discord server and access to our upcoming Not Safe for Work future videos, y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty. What? He picks up the object by your feet that you knocked over. It's a bottle. Almost empty. Gotta be wine Lord Bozier drank last night. You nod, your faculty slowly coming back to you. The blood leaves your dick and thankfully starts traveling back to your brain. You know the brain cells you can get. We should go. After regrouping with and filling in the rest of your party, you agree that it's time to catch your breaths. Cedric informs the group that the closest tavern is by the docks, leading the four of you towards the western edge of town. A sudden setting as you arrive, the sky purple and orange against the saltwater bay. The ships are stuck just like the people, landlocked by orders that no one leave until the mystery of Lord Bozier's illness is solved. Ah! The smell of burgeoning merchant capitalism! Our little babies are growing up! I'm going to get a room. Cedric is the first to hobble through the tavern door, clutching his side. The door closes behind him. You, Wes, and Luke look at each other. Wes shrugs by lifting his shoulders slightly. Luke shrugs by raising his shoulders, hands and eyebrows all together, mumbling, I don't know. It's a long day, and you're looking forward to finally resting your aching feet. Your whole body feels sore after your excursions today. See you inside. All things considered, you've adjusted pretty quickly to life out here. You might be tired, aching, and you keep finding leaves in your fur, but it feels good to have a purpose. Inside, Cedric is already exchanging coins with the innkeeper. He's about to head up the stairs when a familiar face flags you down. Over here, boys. Remus is seated in a corner booth, a rolled-up piece of parchment in the seat next to him. He waves at a nearby waiter to order more drinks for the table as you approach. How fares your mission? Mine has gone terribly. Apparently the Void took out a chunk out of the frozen peaks this year. Completely altered the usual water patterns of the river. Not that it would have mattered, since they apparently built a bridge without my knowledge. Even though there's no bridge on the map. Your three companions nod. Luke does it sagely, like he's understood everything, and Cedric does it out of habit. Wes just nods once, politely. What about your task? How goes the investigation of Lord Bozier's murder? Well, we know that it's not a murder yet. Someone just tried to kill him. We don't even know that yet. How did he die? Poison, most likely. We found this in the cellar. You produce the plants and set them on the table. Remus's eyes widen slightly as he picks one up and examines it gingerly between two fingers. Ah, hemlock. Yes, that would be very deadly. Who do you suspect did this? Himself. Rival family, his son. I'd even be Lord Bozier himself. His son told us that he was drinking hemlock every night. Perhaps a sort of hair of the dog? Apparently he thought it would make him stronger. An odd family. Can anyone else be responsible? His son. His son, Sky, didn't seem too concerned about his death. Hypocrisy isn't lost on you, but hey, you're not suspected of murdering your dad. Ah, a classic case of patricide. What drove him to do it? Revenge? Greed? Tired of living under his shadow? Well, the Boziers are a rich family. It didn't seem like Sky liked him very much, and he'd probably inherit a lot of wealth if his father died. Remus nods approvingly. Good, good. Anyone else? The rival family. Could be the Remerants, a rival merchant family. They were there the night of his coma. Plus, they'd have something to gain by eliminating the competition. A strong contender. Anyone else? That is all. Nope, that's it. I see. Very good job, Kieran. Also, we found this along with the hemlock. He placed the two bottles on the table, and opened one from the cabinet, another one still sealed. Remus scratches his chin as he picks up both bottles, popping off their stoppers one after the other. He alternates the two between his nose, passing them back and forth. Finally, he raises the already opened bottle. This one is poisoned. How? I consider myself a connoisseur of both wine and botany, thank you very much. Like, no, it is water time. So, someone poisoned him last night. Has been poisoned here, more accurately. Because this one, he raises the unopened bottle of wine, has hemlock in it as well. So, he's been drinking poison for several days, maybe even longer, but it's only now getting to him? Cedric, after sitting quietly in his seat this whole time, finally speaks up. Maybe it built up over time. He could tolerate it until he couldn't. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe, but a glass of this stuff would kill most men handily. Remus purses his lips, staring at his reflection in the dark bottle. Cedric slumps back in his seat. Is there anyone else who could have done this? Who would want Lord Borgia dead? Rack your brain. His wife couldn't have much to gain. Wasn't there someone else you saw? There was Lord Borgia's daughter, Electra. She was in an arranged marriage she didn't feel too happy about. She had a friend. She had a friend, Elizabeth, a Rembrandt girl. Lady Rembrandt told us they were close. Maybe she convinced her to betray her father. This girl, short, red hair, pink dress. Yes, do you know her? Remus points out the window of the tavern towards the docks. Through its frame, you spy a young woman that matches the description, bearing a striking resemblance to her mother. Elizabeth glances around the area furtively as he pulls her cloak tighter around her shoulders. You scoot out of your seat, not letting your eyes leave her for a second. We have to talk to her. You dash out of the tavern door and into the street. The sun is setting now, leaving behind a trail of pink as the sky fades into lavender then indigo. Elizabeth! She bolts when she spies you coming after her, but you're just fast enough to grab her arm. A week of training has allowed you to outpace a housebound noble in a dress. Great. Let go of me! Elizabeth, we need to talk. It's about Lord Borgia. Unhand me, stranger! She punches you with her free hand, hard, and your head spins with pain. She must be wearing jewelry under those gloves, because something hard and sharp connects with your jaw. Your grip loosens just enough for her to wrench her arm free. She's already bolting when you manage to choke out, Electra! You're trying to help her! If you're not right about this hunch. The sound of heels clacking down the dock slows until it comes to a stop. What? What do you know about us? Wes and Luke jog up to the two of you now, watching the scene before them warily. She's breathing heavily as she stares you down, dark circles drooping under her eyes. She looks like she's not in the mood to be jerked around. I don't know anything, but I know you wouldn't want Electra to be found guilty for her father's murder. A fire lights behind her eyes as she looks like she's about to murder you. Electra's innocent. I was with her the whole night. She couldn't have poisoned him. What were you doing? You swear she blushes under her red cheeks. Nothing. It's not a strong alibi. That's a pretty bad alibi. Then you better make it a good one. She brandishes her fist at you again and you flinch. Okay. What about her arranged marriage then? I heard she wasn't happy about that. She wasn't. Why would anyone be happy with that? Wes shuffles his feet and stares at the wooden beams of the dock. Yeah, marriage sucks, we know. Elizabeth blinks a few times in surprise. Marriage doesn't suck, it's important. That's why it should be between people who love each other. Both Wes and Luke frown at that. I'm just tired of our families trying to control every aspect of our lives. There's a difference between being controlled and having a responsibility. I know the difference. That's why I was trying to help her. Because you think there's some sort of real love out there for her. I know there is. Elizabeth snaps so fast that even Luke takes a step back, surprised by her outburst. Second, y'all. Listen, I was trying to help Electra flee the city last night. Why would she murder her father if she was already leaving? Not only that, our ship was grounded because of the lockdown the city went into after he was found comatose. It would have been counterproductive to draw attention to that night. Our ship? Elizabeth's lips disappear into a tight grimace, but she doesn't correct herself. I've told you everything you need to know. It wasn't Electra. Now, I'm going to find a boat that's willing to risk being fired on for a sack of gold, and Electra and I are going to leave this godforsaken city. Are you going to try and stop us? She stares at you expectantly. It looks like she hasn't slept in days, but the layer of immediate exhaustion is a much more long-standing one. She's unhappy in her current life. You've seen that look before, most notably in your very own mirror. The ship out is her peregrine, a chance for a life better than the one she's leaving behind. What's his thoughts? Wes, what do you think? He shakes his head and shrugs in resignation. Life is short. She should be free to do what she wants. Maybe she's running away from her problems, but once she's gone, they won't be hers anymore. She should follow her heart. He sounds like he's trying to convince himself of what he's saying, unsuccessfully. Luke, thoughts? Luke, what do you think? I think you're gonna regret this. You think you know what you want right now, but those feelings are gonna come to an end. You care more about how you feel in this moment than the people who will have to live with the consequences of you leaving forever. Look at what happened when Lord Bogia didn't wake up. The whole city is just sitting on its hands until something is done about it. Cities aren't made of feelings or love or even people. They're made of things. Emotions are just the natural disasters that things have to withstand. He crosses his arms and tries to stare her down, but Alizarin's glare is stronger. He eventually has to look away. Should run away with Electra. I think you're gonna do that. I think you're doing the right thing. It's your life, so it's your call. You shouldn't let anyone else live it for you. Luke huffs loudly, but has the tact to keep his mouth shut. Thank you. She breathes a heavy sigh, like letting out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. Please, just clear Electra's name. It would kill her to be accused of her father's death. Alizarin pulls her cloak tighter around her, shivering against the cool night breeze, and nods before trotting away down the dock. Back in the tavern, only Remus remains at the table. So, any new developments? Where's Cedric? Did Cedric leave? He retired to a room upstairs. He wasn't feeling very well. Oh. You nod. He looked like he needed some rest. Neither was Alizarin. I talked to her just now. She's convinced that Electra's not guilty. She says they were together the entire night. They were trying to run away together. Which still doesn't answer how Lord Bogia could have been drinking hemlock for days and only collapsed now. Wes sighs. We're getting nowhere. We should just tell the city we have something important to do and need to leave. If it comes to that, we will. In the meantime, you should get some rest. Crossing the bridge will allow us to reach the base of Grim Mountain in only a day's travel. You'll want to be at your best. Wes nods reluctantly as he rises from his seat. Before he leaves, he gives you a meaningful look from over the table. I'm heading up to my room. Well then, I'm finally going to track down my book. See ya. See ya. As you get up to leave, Remus tells you, Good work today, Kieran. Remus appraises you with an approving eye. Thanks. I didn't solve the case. Thanks, but I didn't figure out what happened to Lord Bogia. Still, you made a good deal of progress. What you're doing may not seem like much now, but these are the skills that befit a sword-bearer such as yourself. Asking questions and breaking into homes? Problem solving. I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm solving anything. Remus chuckles at that, his smile revealing a wolfish grin. By the way, no one noticed you in town. Why doesn't anyone recognize the king? Remus laughs, tapping the circlet around his head. Second, y'all. You're very observant, Kieran. The crown helps. It's enchanted, you see. Try it. He removes the circlet from his head and passes it to you. It's made of a lightweight metal and feels almost flimsy in your hands. When you try to place it on your head, it's impossible for you to make it fit. It springs off your head like it's made of cheap aluminum. As you hand it back to him, you notice that several people in the tavern have turned towards your table, whispering amongst themselves. When Remus replaces the circlet around his head, the whispering subsides, and the people blink as they readjust their gaze towards their drinks. What happened? It's quite heavy for me, but it's too light to fit on anyone else's head, much like your sword. You're the only one that can remove it from wherever it's placed. It makes the wearer invisible. Not invisible, as in not visible, but simply unseen. The best rulers should be judged and seen by their deeds, not their persons. Get it? People see, but they don't recognize you. Like, people can see without realizing who you are. Very good. If you can imagine a painting, one doesn't need to know that the painting's artist exists to appreciate it. After all, the best art is universal without identifiable traits. That doesn't mean that the artist doesn't exist. The art could not exist without him, that the artist remains latent, hidden in the background. The crown helps me do just that. Oh, okay. Oh. Remus has a way of making things sound important and true. Maybe he knows something you don't. The sounds of shuffling upstairs interrupts your train of thought, reminding you of the look Wes gave you. You glance toward the stairs. I won't keep you any longer. You nod gratefully. You're racing as you think about the look Wes gave you before you left. Go to Wes's room. Bow chicka wow wow. You knock on the door to Wes's room. Oh! He opens it, his expression turning hungry when he spots you. Expectation roils in your gut, trailing downwards. Hey! Hey! I was hoping you'd stop by. He opens the door wider for you, letting you in. A bag has been tossed at the foot of the bed, pieces of armor haphazardly peeking out. You close the door behind you. Wes looks you up and down unabashedly, biting his lip. I was just thinking about you. Are you here to finish what we started? He hovers close to you, just like when you were packed into that cellar cabinet earlier today. His breathing is even, his cream-colored chest rising and falling in front of you. You'd be lying if you said you hadn't been running through that scenario all day. Your body heats up at the thought. At the same time, something's been bugging you ever since you arrived at Convivience. Wes leans close. You can feel his breath against your lips. Alright, y'all. Well, you know me. I am a massive tease, so I am just going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Your tip if you can, it always help. And check out that Patreon, y'all. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.